court a ruling say the office of the special prosecutor will need to me say or the best prosecute cases. This is quite interesting. So muni amobe kaya somewhere last week, and I made this story. Bremo say the Attorney General at the special prosecutor called Supreme Court say special prosecutor need to me so we be nyame bi awoye na nyama ben so we be prosecute cases without or no Attorney General no to me what you say because special prosecutor what share the na woye wo Ghana or sorry na ono so the case akọ no akọ charge nkrofo no person chin nkrofo to me in fact what they are chin nkrofo be breakratum what you say just that those people are not political heads enti eya na yenti enti eya na ebe ye nkrofo say maybe special prosecutor office ni krano emfaso bi ambae na asem ne court na me kai say for me it is a case where I am finding it very difficult to get a stance. Now the reason why I was saying that and it's a utie Attorney General argument obehu ne say ne side bi ne argument ne yede utie special prosecutor so argument obehu say ne side bi argument ne yede so I'll wait for the Supreme Court at the ruling aba our Supreme Court say Attorney General na asem na eyede na me hu ne say a lot of people especially the civil society organizations no kasetia this particular ruling no. And then I've also heard that the Office of Special Prosecutor and so say or sound so be court for appeal because on so be we are going to understand what happened in court. And then our first time we have subscribed and click the notification bell on so we understand latest news be about once ebeka na me share like a video we so like a video we are the other videos I may post and then no ebeba beto front page na say we no with ease. Now I say a high court in Accra has stripped the Office of the Special Prosecutor of its prosecutorial powers. Now, forgive me, I think say I said earlier on say na a Supreme Court. Apparently, okay, I think we are going to understand, okay, because I know say Supreme Court near the court, but you say High Court and are stripping off. Okay, let's read the story. It will make sense. Also, according to a GH1 News Card report on Wednesday, April 15th, 2026, the court directed the Attorney General and Minister of Justice, Dr. Dominic Akrotinga Ayini, to take over all the cases being handled by the Office of the Special Prosecutor until prosecutorial authorization is granted. This follows an earlier report by Ghana Web on April 9th, 2026, that the Deputy Attorney General and Minister of Justice, Justice Remsai, had filed proposed arguments asking the Supreme Court to declare Section 4.2 of the Office of the Special Prosecutor Act 2017 unconstitutional and strike it down to the extent of its inconsistency with the Constitution. Section 4.2 of the Act requires the Attorney General to authorize the Special Prosecutor to initiate and conduct prosecutions of corruption and related offenses. So you understand. So there's the Supreme Court case, okay, but this ruling is coming from the High Court. But the Supreme Court case is there. Indian America say you understand no. But basically no, Attorney General a case and they say was say yen ye show say chinipa we tum ana kokodi asem we ansana. Special prosecutor no, and we all know the special prosecutor no so ne dey say that be want to me ntre me dey menye. Osume see your bentin edibonia. And you see for you sort of understand the point of the special prosecutor from the stance that the special prosecutor will likely look to probably maybe prosecute even people in the government, because he can require a special prosecutor no anya ban we na de ne bae nti na nko no pa na NDC nipa bi kokodi boni a wo betumi aye a prosecute no, but Attorney General no so tre say e wo say any ema go ahead. So same way pa hey. I hope say this does not come back to bite the NDC government, especially said this government won on the ticket of oral. Oral was one of the main factors buying winning here. So I really pray that this does not come back to bite the government in the corruption fight or in the fight against corruption. Also, the report further added that the Deputy Attorney General, in the proposed statement of case filed on Wednesday, April 8, 2026, noted that the OSP has since 2018 been investigating such allegations and suspicions and prosecuting the offenses that relate to them, even without such requisite authorization by the Attorney General. The Attorney General, in defense of the prosecutorial powers under Article 88 of the 1992 Constitution, argues that any prosecution by states requires his authorization, which Parliament cannot remove through ordinary legislation. Shremsai, representing the Attorney General, argued that the Attorney General can authorize natural persons to prosecute, but not non-natural persons, as is provided under the OSP Act. The Attorney General shall, per the report, also seek Supreme Court declarations stating that A. That Parliament has, by an ordinary legislation, varied the constitutional prosecutorial powers of the Attorney General, and B. That by so doing, Parliament has acted in excess of its power. And you see, if you understand what is going on, and then you get the point I made, because me analysis was same so. If you understand what is going on, and then you get the point I made some time back, for me, everything is just clear. So the reason why I drew her, and I said probably the Attorney General feels say Kisie Jabin is not collaborating with them. You know? And especially, I can tell you for a fact, say, the Kenofoyata case might be a major reason why the Attorney General is taking this action. I am not going to lie to you. Personally, I think that the Kenofoyata case is a major factor. Indian Attorney General will take action because if you say, Kisie Jabin, any omuyi juma, na by this time Kenofoyata waba. But Kisie Jabin so feel said Dabi, Emrano, me koye maadie, any concept by force, me ni uye juma. And that is the only explanation you can get from this. Okay? So, problem we nankebe to me solve it. Yes, see, nankebe solve pa. This it is not. It doesn't look good for the government. Say, two institutions are corruption are seen fighting like this. You know, it does not look good. And I think that this could have been resolved if Ebia omuni na tenase eti omuhuase say okay. Odi say emrane kase ana emrane nkase krana for respect sake no. Mema we hu de meye. Now so Ebia I'm not expected to take orders from you because say. What you say? Maybe if they came to a compromise bia, I'm sure say nanka de we ni na no emba because you see omo ye I would want to wait for Martin Amidu because you know Martin Amidu has a lot of things to say against Kisie Jabin, on pe Kisie Jabin ansem. And the same Martin Amidu was the first was the first your friend saying special prosecutor in Ghana. So probably he understands the law. So I'd like to hear or know from Martin Amidu. By this time he has also a draw article. I would like to read from his article what he thinks about BBC. But for me, on the face, it does not look good. It's not a good. It doesn't look good that this is happening. But I think say Obia Ewoni case. Now, Attorney General no make the arguments, and I have explained the arguments for you. So basically, that is what is happening. That's what is going on. Court a ruling say special prosecutor lacks authority to prosecute cases. Ebusianfo way is serious. Ebusianfo book na that screen is on your friend the Ghanaian investor. Now this book is the most practical guide a better senior obe investi e Ghana ha. So we call Amazon now search for book a better senior obe to me investi e Ghana. Book we and address e between it say the leading book. Now, book we better how to set up an emergency fund. A lot of people don't know, but so to me setting up emergency fund that actually be uba benya emergency be say waka say and I say any emergency situation be a wuhie sika biana, the emergency fund will come in and kick it for you. Book we better send your bit to me use systems Ghana ha. Now they are setting an emergency fund no. Book we better send your best setting up an insurance policy. Ya na Ghana for be brainano omum believe in insurance policies. Now so book we the companies, government approved companies omo numbers any bibia beto or atrel ɛyɛ insurance policy ɛwɔ sɛ o select abo adwuma ɛwɔ track record na sa insurance policy no ɛyɛ endowment fund obiara nka say kokonya accident but you need to protect yourself in a sense that adwuma wo ye no ukokonya accident ana boni bi kokoto na untumi nye adwuma kra na ɛwɔ sɛ insurance policy no it take care of you and your family. Book we better how to set that thing up. Ewa Ghana here. Book we better send your to me. I started a personal pension fund. Eya na nkrofo bebre omo beko pension we are. Eya no mo kwe krase because omusika sem enye. Now udi book we yechi numbers ebe ma companies ebe ma na we fresh our companies no mo tretre nsem ni so tre no mo tre sika wo se o de to fund demo every single month obekọ pension no na wadane millionaire so unye millionaire kra na obekọ pension no na wadane millionaire uni how on man bedane bed na ntu obi aso. Now the last part no and it's a book we bet show how to invest in the Ghanaian stock exchange. Osikeni bia bet show say if you really want to build wealth you have to use the stock exchange. Now Ghana Stock Exchange no one of the best performing stock exchanges in the world currently. Now se me pese me tretre stock exchange ni mu show. Na what ya see ya me sure say wa wutie me no ebia wanom fan yogurt pen ebia na wanom Guinness pen se wonnom fan yogurt na wonnom Guinness da krana me sure say Unilever we use omo product bi pen se won use bi da krana me sure say we di chocolate da se won di chocolate da krana me sure say at least we use ebia Ghana Commercial Bank we use ebia Eco Bank and Access Bank. Now all these companies no they are listed on the Ghana Stock Exchange. If you invest in them it means say we are part owner of those companies. Into companies we a bit to say MTN every time we make sika because Ghana for air talk credits, Ghana for air year bundle. Into at the end of the year no MTN for omo hwe sika na wo mo make ya omo hwe omo ye owners and omo invest in MTN no mo ache sika no na e bia yeden aba so. Into obi biara wa invest in MTN shares bia no ubedi adanse se nanse ya 10th April MTN fotua oka ade bia efe ne dividends. Na dividends no it came as a result of you being a shareholder of MTN. Book we betrel how to invest in those things. Na eno no ebetumi adane o passive income. Wonim say nkrofo use MTN but every year bia no MTN betua oka. A lot of people don't know this. This book is going to teach you all those things. Na say bia one person will invest in just one company krana ye wade bia ye friend no mutual fund, equity mutual fund. Book we better how to use equity mutual funds. Ebe ma mutual funds no the best equity mutual fund there Ghana ha omo numbers. Na tre se wa frɛ omo na wetumi set yourself up. Se wo tie me na wo ba me hrew e wo se wo setting it up with sa book we. To book we e ma wadanfo. To book we e ma wo ho. So pe book ni bi ato a number na eda eye book ni so no 055-807-4986 fresh a number no ofra book no version e beboa no ye de bema o ye Ghana ni na wa brochure na ope book ni hard copy a eno ane so obekọ Amazon na wa search for the Ghanaian investor e ba na wato oto a ye be ship book no e de abrew mo ntre mo adwo comment box ni mo